Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker. Today we are fishing in the Jeffreys Bay area of South Africa. Let's go. It's an early one today. Let's hope it's a good one. As usual, my intention was to get some baits in the water and then take some time to properly explain what the plan was for the day, the rigs, the bait and the way that we were baiting up. However, the first bite came before I'd even had a chance to set the camera up.
Yes, boys. Yes, man. Like it. Beautiful morning in Jeffreys. First throw, first bite. Not a big fish, but we're on the board.
What does it feel like, mate? Do you know?
Well, to be honest, at the start, it felt like a truck running towards me. Because literally there was no fighting. I was constantly trying to keep up with it, even to the point where I thought it'd come off. It's a pull of the string, first cast of the day. So
It gets you feel a bit better.
So yeah, you're starting to think that the day looks a little bit more positive than it did an hour ago.
Check the beautiful markings on these fish, guys.
It's got like a...
Yeah. I'm just while I'm having a look at it. Yeah, it is amazing colorations on there.
Nice blue.
That turning circle and that tail there, I tell you what, they're faster than what you can do.
Yes.
You might be thinking, oh, no, it'll be round on you.
My old man taught me about the fishing skills.
Yeah, like you say, there's next to no teeth in there. The reason why I'm doing this is you don't pick them up by the spiracles in the top because that's where the gills are. And I don't really want to be around the back end because that's where the stinger is. Reacting to a passing shoal and mullet, our guide Luke quickly secured us some more fresh bait with the cast net. Nicely done!
Not bad for tonight!
I'd found a gully further down there. And I was fishing some smaller baits into it. Didn't take my camera with me, I've just been landing a little blue ray. Small, about half the size of the one I've just had before. Look down here. Tom's lent into a fish down here as well. So yeah. Looks like he's been scrapping it for a while. I wouldn't fish that gully.
What have you just had?
A little blue ray.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, pretty much as soon as I put the rod in the rod rest like that and tightened it up, it just went whack. I thought, oh brilliant, so I took the rod out and held it down, and the ray must have come up and got rid of it and pulled down, and then when I lowered the bait, put it on the bottom, yeah, it was on it.
Nice.
Yeah, just yeah, so say when you get this far, sometimes it's easier to just walk backwards with them. But I'm imagining this is quite a large butterfly ray. Down here they call them diamond rays. I generally think of a stingray being round. Yeah, these are. The colorations on them is incredible.
152.
The thickness of it as well in the middle is like, it's a good fish that. I'll get it quickly unhooked, get some photos of it, and we're going to push back into the water. Yeah. Looking positive. All that bad weather that we've fought through for these last couple of 3 days have made the conditions more favourable for the last few days, just because it stirred everything up, gets the fish feeding. Also, the water temperature has gone from being like low 20s to being at high teens. And that can switch them on too.
Pull back now. It's not easy to grip him. They quite difficult.
Yeah, there's no gripping on the side of here, is there?
You can release it now. Watch your little hands there.
Yours? Well done. Let's get these baits back out. Whenever you're travelling, whenever you're booking trips in advance and you're travelling distances to go fishing, one of the only things that you cannot control is the weather. Yeah. Good luck or bad luck, we had a period of really bad weather through the middle of our trip. So we had a good day on the first day, we got into fish, and then the weather completely wrote off one day and affected the one either side of it. But hopefully this means that we're able to reap the rewards of that on the last couple of days, because as with the fishing at home, when you're fishing for cod or anything else, you want a stir up, you want a blow. We've had a big blow and a big stir up, which moved all the bars around, it disturbs a load of feed, and then as it's dying off, then you're in for good fishing. And we've been fishing now for the best part of probably 3/4 of an hour. We've had, first fish was a big blue ray, then Tom's just had a really big butterfly ray, and then I've got a scratching rig here because I want to try and catch some different species. I'm fishing for things like cob, and this is a 2-hook flapper rig, just exactly like we'd use in the UK, and we've got like a 7 or 8 ounce gripper on it, and the same using a bit of Watercraft like what we would do in the UK. I'll tell you what, turn you around this way. Using a bit of Watercraft, the same as you would do in the UK, being able to read the surf, looking at it breaks where it's shallower. So if you can see here in front of me that breaking means it's shallow, breaking out there, then a gap, and then breaking out there. That means that this gap here in front of me, where it isn't breaking, that means that's a deeper patch because it breaks over reef or bars. So the patch right here in front of me shows that it's slightly deeper, and a gully is a natural holding point for things like feed, like if anything's rolling around in the sand. So that's where fish congregate, that's what you're fishing for. So even though we are going to a different part of the world, the same principles of Watercraft apply. There are universals in angling all over the world. Like most things down here, you've either got teeth or spikes. Yeah. All it was just a little strip of squid on these hooks. Cast into the gully, seen the first bite, held it in my hand, and then when it committed, had it thrown. I'll tell you what, they scrap away in the waves. Yeah, I was going to try and show you a real gentle release there, and it just must have smelt the water because it was gone. Go down there and rebait. Yeah, so there's some bait on the hook, something to flutter around in the tide. I don't know whether or not it's going to work, but I found one of these little sprats on the beach, so I've lashed one of these on as well. You match the hatch.
From the jab, give it a jab.
See there, we felt the bite, lowered the rod as the bite kept going, and when it felt like it, to give a proper tug. Timing it right with the waves.
Look in the wing.
These snails are incredible.
So
you're going to put both knees on the ground? In the mouth. Both hands in the mouth. If he bites,
Within seconds of that fish and that bait being up here on the sand, these snails were out and after it. In fact, I'm going to do an experiment in a minute.
how much?
What is it, 1530 or what? There it goes. Well done, mate. Whilst we were using sand spikes for the larger baits for the rays and the sharks, the fishing for the smaller fish was best done with a rod in your hand. Because there's that much sand moving around, the lead ends up getting buried, so the the baits that would be flapping around end up flat on the seabed. I think I picked up another ray here. I've just seen it, it's not a ray, but it is something that I've been really looking forward to catching. Look at that! That is incredible. Now, I would know this as a guitar fish, a guitar shark. Look. What an incredible fish that is. I am absolutely over the moon.
What did it measure, John?
Bang on a metre, like a metre and a, well, a metre and a half centimetre. We were rotating our time out with the big rods between Dave, Tom and I. After returning that guitar shark, I swapped the squatching rod for a big one, and it didn't take long before I had another bite.
You ready?
I have to put it up the middle. All that good South African food, I don't think it fits me anymore. It's Dave the chef.
Can you?
So what you feeling, John?
At the moment, it's moved out of the sand and it's just kiting left and right. But it's just, yeah, you can feel when you're catching the swell. And the swell works for you. But when you get it closer into the beach and the swells start going backwards, you've got the opposite problem. It's not helping you, it's hurting you. I am going to have to talk to you about having these rail handles on the right hand side of the rod.
Sorry.
Right doesn't always mean right. So we're fishing different gullies and they're about 200 metres apart. So Tom's fishing the one down there and he's just bent into a fish as well. Tell you what, I am quite surprised at. I mean, it's just purely because we don't use them, and it's, you use what you're confident in. Is I would never use, just in the past, someone had offered me like a 3-piece rod for landing £100 plus fish off the beach. We just don't do it. I mean, I've got 3 and 4-piece estuary rods, but it's always just been like in my mind that if you've got multiple sections, it's not as strong as either a 1+1 as in a button of rod or a half and half. Yeah, these assassin rods we've been using. See there. This one's a 7 weight. And the ones that we're landing what, for £300 bronze whaler sharks on them. 3-piece rods. But also they mount the reel low down. Whereas normally in the UK you'd have your reel up here. Mount them real low. It's good for fighting. It's good for wading out. Because you can hold the rod above your head and cast. So these guys can wade up to their necks and cast. But it's good for playing a fish here because you've got your levers low. I mean, they've got a good action as well. Like. You'd be worried about dead bands, where the connections are, where the spigots are. You'd be worried about dead bands. These absolutely not having full parabolic action. Nice. Coming in now. Just try not to pressure it. This is a point in time when you have to be strategic about when you're landing them. Because you gain line when the waves come in and you just try not to lose it as the waves go out. If you try and drag it straight on the beach, you're just going to end up parting yourself off. That was well recovered, that. I don't know if you heard Dave's trying to stifle a sneeze behind you, nearly blew his eyes out of his head.
That's the fuck.
You see with the shape of them, they're not like a textbook stingray, they're not round. They're all wings. It almost looks like a B-2 bomber or something like that. These fish are notorious for flapping sand everywhere. The local lads call it a diamond shower, as they shower everything in sand. They've only got a really small mouth underneath. Their mouth's probably only about that wide. I'm going to do an experiment. Now these little snails in the sand are on a bait like within seconds. I'm going to time it. So we've got an area of sand here in front of us, look. where there's nothing. And this is the bait that I've got. So I'm going to put the bait down under my foot, just in the water, so that it can carry the scent away, and we'll time it to see how long it takes. It was almost instant, them coming up for the bait. These are called a smooth plough snail. They use their large foot to surf around and get carried up and down the beach by the waves. I was down there trying to film Dave, and I just looked round and the rod just went something like it was nearly out of the tripod, wasn't it? It was
difficult to get out.
Yeah. You brought that one in a bit quicker. I was just going to note here, this is the first time I've seen any damage. So the number of sharks that have got around here, you'd see a little bit more shark damage on them.
I don't know if the camera will pick it up, it's so intricate.
Yeah, the markings on them are just phenomenal.
You would never see that on the bottom.
No, you'd stand on it before you'd saw it, wouldn't you? Incredible. I am fishing just a very simple 2-hook scratching rig. I've baited one with squid and I've baited one with mackerel. Because of the surf behind us, I am losing a grip lead.
Hey, there we go.
Tell you what, these are beautiful fish. But they are covered in spines. That didn't take long at all. That bait's been out minutes. All of these on top of here are a spike. Got a spike on the back of the gill like a bass. Got a spike on the rainbow fin there. Yeah, these, given the amount of sharks that are around in this area, I am not surprised that everything around here, if it's not a predator with big teeth, it's got defences. And the hook. That was on the squid on the top. There's your hook. Go back and do some baiting up. We'll come back and have a go. Just a quick look at that rig again. It is very simply just a 2-hook flapper rig with a grip lead for the sand. And the way that I've baited up is I've got some strips of squid, mounted them and lashed them to the shank, and left some little flaps to move in the tide. I'm catching some fish for us to eat and also some fish for us to use for bait for later. As I was explaining earlier, walking down the beach, finding our mate, and we've walked probably a mile before we found the places that we wanted to fish. So I'll talk to you like this so you can see the bite. Walked about a mile down the beach before we found the place we wanted to fish. What we're looking for is we're looking for a gully. And the same as I've explained in like the cod fishing videos about how to read the water. By reading where all the waves are breaking, you know where the bars are. As waves break, there's a fish straight away. Stripped. Whenever I go fishing onto a beach, especially in a new place, I like to check out what's present in the area. It's just why I generally start with small hooks to see what baits are there. Once you can find what's out there, you can kind of measure what you're doing, the size of your baits, the type of baits, and look at what you're going to be catching. And one of the best ways is looking around the high tide line for things like this. These are all the different types of shells and shellfish. So I'm seeing oysters and clams and scallops and mussels and lots of stuff living in the sand. It shows me the sand's quite fertile. So look, I would expect it in the back of these dumps, see like how the water gets sucked out and then rolls around in there. Shells and things, clams will get sucked out of the sand and churned up in there, so there'll be little fish feeding. And once you can catch those little fish, you get an idea of what bigger fish are going to be there. So you just work your way up the food chain. But yeah, these are beautiful, mate. Some of these are the same as you get in the UK. I mean, you've got your limpets, you've got your oysters, you've got your clams. These are beautiful. These are like a type of auger shell. We have got little tiny Little tiny, if I can hold it right, little tiny scallops. Apart from finding it really interesting, these shells are absolutely beautiful. I might try and sneak one or two of them. In fact, where is it? This is another one that was quite special. There's that one there. That's an abalone. Depending where you're from, you'll either know that as an abalone, or an ormer. So yeah, I would expect there's a bit of reef somewhere out there with them living on. So you'll get all your little like mussel crackers and sheepheads and wrasse and that type of thing that live by the reef. So using a bit of watercraft, walking down the beach, knowing where to fish, and then scouting about what's here, also looking at how fine the sand is. There's sand everywhere, you would expect flatfish like rays. Knowing this, you could come here brand new, having never fished here before, and you would already have a good idea of some of the species. And then when you know the types of species, you know what type of rigs to use. Now we've been taking it in turns here. We've got a few little fish gone on the scratching rods, and we've got some big baits out, and we're just taking it in turns. And actually, this Dave here Dave's just been on one of the big rods. It's just so I'm up on the rod next, which is why I brought my scratching rod over here. I'm going to rebait this, and I'm going to go out and fish one of the big rods. Taking it in turns just so we can have a bit of variation on what's going on. But I'll show you the baiting up, and I'll show you the rig for catching out for the big ones. These guys are calling this a baiting station. I'm just calling it like a splatter station. One of the things that they're doing is they tenderise all their baits.
Probably because of that hook. Big hook tips.
We'll knock a bait up, get a bait out, and then we'll show you slow time how to make one of these up and explain the rig from start to finish. Priority now is getting a big bait out. Gotta get my hands dirty.
Okay guys, so here's a mackerel head. This is a dingle dangle puller. There's a little hook there, you can see that. So you put that through the fish.
I see that you've shaved off the sides and taken the fins off.
Shaved off the sides for better aerodynamic to be able to cast further. Stick it through the mouth, through the back of the fish. This is a dingle dangle. This is a steel one that we've made out of electric fencing wire. Made a little loop and a hook. Put the loop over that end there, and you pull it through. So it's like that. There's the hook, there's the ring. Then what you do, take the hook, put it through the bottom lip, through the ring, through the top lip. So now the bait is on the hook, but it's actually sitting on the ring.
Yeah, if you weren't going to put that wire in there, you'd just rip through them jaws.
Exactly, you just rip through. So this allows you to put a maximum effort cast in without casting your bait off. So once I've done that, the dingle dangle, the bait, then I'll take a cutlet over this side.
And these are just little pieces of the sides of a mackerel.
This is just mackerel, this. So I've cut it off.
So you've got a base of a bait, which is the skull.
Yes.
And you're adding the mackerel,
the soft pieces around
soft side out, so the maximum scent comes out.
Most scent that can get out. Cut it over the hook and the bait.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
And then the bottom of your dingle dangle, you've bent it into a hook, haven't you?
Bent it into a hook. We have a sinker with a clip. We'll clip it like that. So it casts as one object into the water, and as soon as it hits the water, it unclips.
Perfect.
Yahoo!
I'm the best part of the way through, man.
Yeah! Big hook set.
We were just turning around there looking at the other rod setup, and it just started going and going and going. And yeah, we've got a double set. Now this fish started out at about 200 metres out, and all it did was just brought it in over the bar, and there's a gutter in front of us, and it's just moving up and down in front of the gutter. But they're big, strong fish, you can't drag them straight in, and especially when there's waves to contend with in and out. because they're a big surface area. If you get down here in this dump and the water's moving backwards and it opens the surface area up, you're not just fighting the fish, you're fighting the tide as well. Well, the water volume. So picking the right set to bring it in on.
Double trouble, both on. There's diamond number 1. Little small guy, maybe 10 to 15 kilos. Nice. What you say, John?
They're beautiful, beautiful fish. It's when you see them laid on the sand in here, just you wouldn't see one until you stepped on it, would you? They're absolutely perfectly camouflaged. Now, man at the moment is just behind this breaking wave. They're just moving
Just
left.
holding
and right.
there, guys. Just there. Just giving us some carrots there. There you can see it in the wave. You!
Just like this. Just perfectly adapted to sitting flat on the sand. And if you can just see here, that is the dangerous end. Wingspan on it. Stunning fish. Its eyes on here, and maybe the size of my thumbnail, they're absolutely tiny. And these spiracles here, it sucks water in from its mouth underneath and blows the water out. So I'm just going to drop it back into this little pool of water here. There you go. Barbless circle, and there's your dongle lyre. Perfect. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to slide it out. We're in a little pool of water here. I'm going to slide it over this bar and back into the water. I tell you what, them wings, as soon as they get anywhere to the sand, and they're just like tush. We're absolutely, you can see us. We're absolutely covered. The camera's covered. Everything's covered. Yeah, they're beautiful fish. Well, we're just absolutely covered in sand. Yeah.
I've got nicely settled down, but didn't take a picture and it just flapped its wings everywhere.
I think they call it a diamond shower.
But yeah, it's been almost non-stop since we've managed to get a good amount of bait in the water, catching some fresh bait, the mullet, and bits and pieces that we've been catching on the scratching rigs, and then getting those baits out there, getting good scent going. Yeah, the rays have been constant. I think we've had probably like 3 or 4 each now. The local lads are going out in bare feet, but I've got these like hard-soled wetsuit boots. Yeah, these hard booties. Just because I've said to them, I was like, do you ever stand on them stingrays? And they're like, oh aye. It's like, go back to camp, get some more baits knocked up. This is a completely different fight. All the rays. Fight was the same at the start. I don't know if you saw that. It just keeps running at me and then just jigs side to side. Yeah. It's a little shack if you want to go down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was tell straight away with the bite. Yeah. Completely different bite on it.
So you see the difference between a bronzy and a dusky? A little bit lighter in colour, right? Softer skin, more pelagic, so they don't have that rough, thick skin. But the easiest way to tell is this ridge. That's if you're a novice. I always tell the people that's how you tell it to dusky.
Same with the tail as well. It's almost got a
Yes,
ripple.
it's got a little bit of ripple, yeah. So there's quite a few marks. This is the most straightforward mark.
Just caught in the lip of the skin. we're going to get a measurement on it and get a tag in it and we'll send it straight back. Because yeah, the van said that these are really, they move about all over the place. They're really good ones to tag. The reason why I had to time that right was if I'd let it go straight away in here, it had just got rolled up the beach. So I had to let it go behind that wave so that it could swim straight out. Yeah. Dusky shark, tagged and released. New species for me. Yeah, the UV down here is very high. So we're absolutely lathered up in like factor 100 and we're still burning. Which is why like these UV tech tees are ideal. Coincidentally, you can get these you can get these fish locker tech tees. You can get these on the Fish Locker clothing website. It's all linked in the description of the video. Shameless plug. I'm perfect. A cool little fella, isn't he? We're all ready, Jax? We've fished the morning window. Everything that we're doing is dependent on the tide. Fished the morning window. How many fish we've had? I mean, on the scratching rods, I think we've had probably 10 between the three of us. And the bigger rays, easy 10 as well. A couple of sharks. Yeah. We're going to have to hump all this stuff back over the sand. Go and get some food, get some more bait. And reassess fishing it ebbing off, so it means we've got 6 hours until the next flood. Let's go. This session was part of a week-long trip that we filmed with the van fishing tours. I will link that full video in the description below. That's it, quick refuel, we're back out. A couple of different marks, right into darkness, and hoping that the sharks are going to move in as it comes on. You all comfortable back there?
Like sardines in a can.
Right, so we've had a bit of a regroup, got some fresh bait, packed ourselves up. We fished a different mark this morning on the beach. This is a different spot with a little bit of rock intermixed. I'm hoping we can pick out a few more species before the light dies. And as we get into darkness, the bigger sharks are going to move in. We have arrived at the mark. We are just setting up camp. We're going to be fishing into a large gully right in front of us. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. We're just setting up the rods and the rigs. We're going to get baited up and get some baits out. And I'll talk to you some more. We just want to try and capitalise on the last little bit of light because we have best part probably 20 minutes before it goes behind them sand dunes. There we are. We've got some baits in the water. Yeah, there's no point in me taking all the time to explain exactly what we're doing until we get some baits in the water, because if you haven't got bait in the water, you're not going to catch any fish. The area that we've got, we're in like a little bit of a cove. I don't know if you can see the shape of the sand. There is a reef running down that side, and then just down the ways there, just behind Tom, a reef running on the other side. So this area here, you can see there's no breaking waves apart from this little dump and that little bar. So we're fishing into the gully at the back. This is, as I was talking about earlier, it's a bit of watercraft. It's understanding from the signs that you're seeing what's happening underneath the seabed and how that relates to fish. The fish's behaviour, fish's feeding. Now the water here is pretty clear, and I'll walk you out where we're going. And one of the things is, like, people automatically assume that clear water must be good to fish. It's not. Especially not when you've got sun in the sky. Look, this is... It's still relatively clear. Now, smaller bait fish, that makes them susceptible to predators from above and below the water during the day. They will feed with more confidence on a night. It's just, it's a given, it's a universal. No matter where in the world that you are. You will not get big fish without having little fish, because there's nothing for the big fish to eat. Doesn't matter if you're fishing a wreck in Cornwall or you're fishing a beach in South Africa, it's the same principle. Tom there, he's fishing a scratching bait. He's trying to scratch about to see if there's any of the bream, the steam brass, the grunts that we caught earlier, because a fresh bait like that would be perfect. I'll tell you what, I can't walk more than about 5 steps without finding like another beautiful shell. Yeah, well, as I was just saying there, I just said clear water during the day, fish will move off, and fish feed with more confidence on the night. So we're hoping that this hole here, this gully, the fish are going to come feeding here till the night and then find out a nice juicy bait.
The scratching rigs seem a bit quieter this morning, straight away on the fish.
Well, just after dark, the first bite, and I reckon as soon as it, just like when we're fishing up gang.
Well,
as soon as it,
over, right?
I've just said the same thing, yeah. There's universals in fishing, it doesn't matter where you are. And one of them being that fish will generally feed with more confidence in shallower water on the night. Well, you've got a choke flapper rig on, haven't you? Or is it just the one? Just the one. Right. We'll have a look at that rig. You saw me baiting mine up. Mine was just a heavier trace with a big circle up and a wire tippet. Have you? There's a rod. Ooh. There's a nice lunge on that rod there. Oh, that would have been good timing. We're spread out just a little bit. This is one of the things that that people who fish on the beaches like. Look at that. So I keep getting distracted. Every beach that we've been onto around here, if I had James with me, these pockets would just be full within about 5 seconds. Yeah, these are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Before the light dies out and I need to get the lamps out, I'll show you the camp reel. The baiting station on here. This is really important. I mean, especially through the day-to-day, that keeps everything frozen so the bait doesn't spoil. There isn't an awful lot of wind, but it's quite common to get wind out here, so these have been a great help. Later on, we might be having, I think he called it a braai, which is their equivalent of a barbecue. Any South African listening will probably be cursing what I've just said as blasphemy. Yeah, we're going to have a fire and a cook-up and enjoy the rest of the evening. It is absolutely beautiful. Right, it's come full on dark now. We've got all fresh baits out, and not that we really need it for temperature, but it's always nice to have a fire. It does great things for morale. Now unfortunately there are a lot of flies around, so I'm going to keep the lights off as much as I can. I'll come back and catch the fish.
Nice. Okay.
Well done, Jeff.
Nice. Keep tight. Okay. Real. Listen. Nice. Here we are. Yeah! On your own throw and bait. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of like savage head shakes. I can see them through the rod tip.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull your buff up over your neck? Are you alright?
Yeah, go on.
Right, stay as you are. The twanging of the heads right at the start, like the twanginess was making me think shark.
Yeah, he's all tangled up. These are the guys that bite.
I tell you what, their teeth are wicked. They are just...
Bring them up. Hey, John,
Just watch out, guys. These guys, they bite.
Yeah.
They will bite you, and they will stuff you up. Do you want to get a photo of the hook there?
Perfectly in the side of the mouth.
Beautifully. Couldn't ask for better.
Well done. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
On your own bait, on your own caster. I haven't got them, mate. Luke's cooking us up something here. What did you call it?
So this is called Braai lamb chops. Really quality meat, lovely to eat. I'm quite excited to spoil them. So haven't put on the fire yet. This is a
What's the difference between a braai and a barbecue then? Just that you're cooking on wood instead of cooking on coal?
wood instead of coal firstly. Secondly, a South African braai, you can't beat it. It's the best. It's just the tradition. So yeah, putting it on. Gonna put on now, just putting on some braai salt. Just putting on marinade basically without the sauce, it's just sparse. And gonna put on the fire, gonna eat it at a nice medium rare. It's gonna be beautiful.
I look forward to it. Tell you what, it's something about having a campfire, isn't it? It's, yeah, it does something. Look at how proud of this punch. That was a cracking fish, mate. Well done.
That's a raggy. Yes, John! Vicious head shakes. Oh man. How's that fight feeling, John?
Hey?
What's the fight like?
There's not much of a fight, to be honest. It's just scrapping. It's almost just like it's constantly trying to fight with what's in its mouth. You just feel it snapping and shaking its head constantly, so it's just like there's no screaming runs are out. It's just doggy. And then occasionally it will come towards you. I liken it, like I said earlier when I saw you fighting yours, to a bullus. When it's heavy light, heavy light, heavy light.
It's definitely a little bit bigger.
Nice one, huh?
Well done.
Just pop your headlamp off, yeah.
Oh, that's a better fish. Well done.
And I didn't lose my leg like that. Just one second.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger.
Around here we coming, mate.
Well done.
These teeth here, I'll tell you what, that's been the last thing that many a fish has ever seen.
Yeah.
If you go anywhere near them, you're not coming back.
No ways.
And interesting as well is you've got row upon row upon row, especially down at the sides, right in the corners of the mouth you can see. There's like 3 or 4 rows waiting to come out. Yeah.
The east teeth there? Yeah. The east teeth there.
Incredible fish. And quite a narrow nose and eyes quite high and cooked to the front. 118 to your caudal and it is 136 to the fork. Yeah,
No, it's a male. Look at that.
male.
There's claspers.
Good name.
Beautiful.
And the tag number is 425107. Watch your fingers.
In he goes.
That skin is a well,
Tough
although
skin,
it feels smooth, it is tough.
Getting heavy.
It is heavy.
A little bit of water coming. Just watch your feet. There we go. Oh. There he goes. Beautiful.
Yeah, I nearly said she too as well.
Well done.
Johnny. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful fish, guys.
Coming here with a big hood. Kept my hood up because there's a lot of flies about. Coming here, we had a couple of targets that we wanted to catch. One of mine was a ragged-toed sand tiger. And that's because I believe that we're going to start seeing them on the south coast of the UK. They're over on the French coast, they're over in the Bay of Biscay. I don't think it's going to be too long before we start seeing them. And I wanted to learn more about them. And the best way to learn more about them is to see them, to investigate what their face looks like, their teeth, their body, how they move in the water. Yes, that was one of my. So we've both had, we've had the bronze whalers and we've had the.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel like I can relax a little bit now. I was getting slightly worried we weren't going to see a raggy. It was nice to see a little one to start with, but that's the sort of stamp we're going to be getting here.
Reassuring as well. I mean, the traces that they're using are exactly like we'd use for trope at home.
Yeah.
And also exactly the same watercraft that we were using, saying that right, we were expecting them to come on just after dark. It's been dark for about an hour. Yeah, we've had two. That was fantastic. I don't know how heavy that was, but it was pretty heavy.
I mean, it's £80 over the...
Yeah, it was heavy, that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good job I had my Weetabix this morning. I held it up and it was like, just one
But
more,
the
and I was
thing
like,
is,
no.
they're quite a saggy fish. So when you're holding it, it's, you know, you haven't got the rigidity of the fish.
No, you're absolutely right.
Well done.
Tagged it as well. Brilliant. I'll tag more information in the description of the video about the tagging that we've done. We've tagged, probably tagged about 20 shark species in the tagging that we've been doing. We do a lot in the UK and anywhere else. We travel around the world like this. And all the information goes to NOAA. Let's get another bait out. Tell you what, they smell good.
I'm glad. I'm glad. We're trying to have some food.
Trying to enjoy a bit of lamb chop.
We were literally just amongst the fire there. And we saw the rod go, ran straight down. They've got a really ragged bite and it's difficult to stay in contact with them. So tightened down the drag to whack into it and just went and then went yeah, this is a much different.
What's that feel like? Is that shark?
This is a different fish altogether, this like. I don't think this is a raggy.
No.
But it feels like a shark.
Feels like a stinger.
Really?
Yeah, you know, big stinger.
Even that ragged bit, you're gaining on it here. Does it feel like wing beats or it feel like head shakes?
Maybe you know, little big stingers.
That bite just didn't look like a rare bite.
Like now it's numb.
I was about to say it's kind of given up a little bit. But
One of those lethargic ones.
yeah. Oh, it's just coming in like a sack.
Like there, does it feel like it's a ray? Does it feel like wing beats? Because it looks like it's head shakes. Yeah, those are twanging. I'm gonna go and put my gloves on just in case.
That's 100 kilo fish. Come guys, come guys. Yes! Yes! We got it! We got it!
What did we say? When that meat goes on, that meat goes on, the fish bites. That's a 100 kilo fish.
219 to the 4.
It's a proper fish, guys. This is a proper
you're
fish.
220.
Look at the business end.
2.2 meters. That is a proper one.
Look how close you were to having that one over his mouth.
Look, Lipton.
That is incredible.
Unfortunately, guys, it's swallowed a bit. It's safer to cut.
Yeah, it's down there, mate. You're not going to see now.
Yeah, what? Oh, careful, man. Careful.
So, guys, it's safer to cut.
Yeah,
The shark will reject.
we absolutely agree. Get you a tag.
If you start fiddling around, that's
we-
when you make the female.
Female.
Guys, it's a good fish.
That is an incredible fish. These teeth in here are just absolutely gruesome. 420692. Sorry. 420269.
Beautiful. You happy with the
Yep.
Pull, guys, pull together as a team.
We've fished the best of the tide now. Packed up because it really is getting late. We started early and we're finishing late. The shark that Tom had was an absolute monster. Like not only like sheer size, but just the gruesome teeth in it. Yeah. Back home now. We have made it back to the van. We're all tidied up now. You absolutely cannot complain at that. We had an amazing time. The food as well was delicious.
I'm glad guys, I'm glad.
I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.
Tomorrow.
I'd like to take a moment to pay thanks. You as the viewer do not get to see a lot of what goes on behind the cameras. For example, I would not be able to film videos like this without the amazing help of friends like Tom and Dave. Thank you, boys. I appreciate it more than you know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go!